Hello everyone, it's Sue from Paper Drake. I've made a little book which is sold, but I thought you might like to have a quick look at it. I made the book myself rather than use a gutted one this time, and I've covered it in, it was my first trial with this actually. It was a bookmaker's paper, which I was really pleased with. It's very easy to stick down and gives a nice finish, and I've put some quite elaborate, for a plain book, quite elaborate book corners on there, which I think suit the style of this book very well. It's all about the legends of Cornwall, really. I've called it a Cornish sea siren, and it contains a lot of things about mermaids and folklore, as you'll see. This is first of all an image of a shipwreck with a very stormy sea. The ship is listed over to its side, and there are lots of people pulling other people, unfortunates, from the sea, and they're lying around here. This is an image on vellum, and then here this is about smuggling, and there's a £500 reward for anyone who's got knowledge leading to the capture and arrest of the people involved. Some images from the Newlyn School of Painters with a map on the back, and this is just a little fold out of quite heavily stained coffee paper. Of course, Daphne du Maurier is famous for the tales that she told that were centred around Cornwall, and of course one of the most famous, Rebecca. And this is from an old book which had 4 of her stories in. I've decoupaged some locally found leaves and flowers. I've put that in between because although they're very firm upon the paper, they are raised, and so that will stop them sticking. You can take this out and put it somewhere else in the book. I've tried to make this book quite flexible in its use. More images there, and a handmade paper which I've made into a tag. This is encapsulated in acetate. Again, it's removable, and underneath it's a very tactile piece from the eco dyeing that I've been doing lately. And the shape reflects the shape of the leaf. Little shell attached to the paper clip, and inside this is just a regular card on watercolour paper, but I love this image of the mermaid, which was, I think, done on a lino block. I didn't make that. It was something I bought a long time ago actually, and found it out when I was looking for material for this, and thought that would work quite well. Another image on vellum. It's firmly stuck down, but it's also, I haven't stuck it completely all the way along because it gives it a little bit of flexibility to avoid any cracking. Beautiful mermaid there, shimmery, which I thought was the best thing. The material put it on was vellum because it helps to emphasize that. Little flip there of another image of a mermaid, and I've decoupaged little bits too from an image with an old poem, which you'll see in a minute. Victorian representation here of seaweed with some decoupage. I dried this over a long period of time because it's so thick, and put it along that pocket. I've just fixed it with some tape. Another image of a leaf and a tag of some of the eco-dyed card. I love this because it looks like these are tentacles or tails of a mermaid, perhaps hiding behind this lighter piece. Here again, I've tried to merge some of the images into this eco-dyed paper because it came out very watery from the water bath, as you'd imagine, and the colours very much like some of the seaweed that lies along the causeway at St Michael's Mount, which is just opposite from where I'm filming this. I've also tried to make, this is fabric in between which everything's attached to, but I've tried to make it like old cracked leather, and I think it's been quite a successful experiment. It's raised up in places. I use various mediums to try and bring that up like that. There's another bit from Rebecca there with a protective layer. Again, with washi tape you can just take it out and move it along. Another little one of these beautiful red seaweed. There's a couple of those in here, and they've got a plain back so you can journal on them and move them around. This is the image in a slightly smaller rendition with the first half of the poem on there. You can see all the mermaids gathering there and the sailors rowing and looking down upon them. Again, some more washi taped pieces of the story. This is the other bit of the mermaid. Plenty of journaling space. The Lost Gardens of Heligan, you may have heard of them. They were discovered completely overgrown, but just a wonderful space full of plants and trees and exotic things, and some more vellum and journaling papers there. I think it was discovered, or at least brought back to life, shall we say, by the same chap that did the Eden Project. I'm not absolutely sure, but I think that's the case. Either way, you can visit them, and it's quite an experience. Just a little bag of goodies there from this envelope. I won't get them all out because the lady will want a few little surprises. Who gets this? But there's a couple of extra bits in there, and there's also a couple of little slits in the envelope that you can put a leaf through, which looks very pretty, or another kind of tag. It's another one of those images, and this the Newlyn School people looking and waiting for the fishermen to come in, looking for the boats, and it's always the women waiting in there for the men with their buckets of pasties and tea in a bottle wrapped in a towel. This is there's a lot of folklore, as I've already said, and this, if someone was wanting to conceive, they would go out to this monument, which is a fertility symbol, and it's very big, and you get through the hole. I think you had to go through, I don't know if it was 3 times or 9 times, but you were sure to conceive if you did that. So that's a wonderful thing. And there was this image in a sketchbook that I found. I didn't draw it, but I bought a big box full of miscellaneous paper things, and that was amongst them, so I thought it was quite nice to put in there. And on the back, again, image of a stormy sea and a tin mine all broken down. You probably see them if you watch Poldark. Some of the ones that are in better shape you will have seen, and this one is what you more frequently find. Again, removable. You could use this as a floating pocket. It's got 2 pockets in there, and that's a flag iris, which is a water plant, and you can, if you keep it in, you can journal on the back and still underneath, so it's not lost any space. Same context for this really. I've left that so that it can be pulled out. Just makes the whole book more flexible and easier for you to custom it to your own need. This is the same image of the mermaid. I've put that on acetate, which I thought was quite nice if you want to make it into a little window picture, because it brings out the colours and the light shine through that and bring them out in a very jewel-like way. And then this last little bit we get onto, this is a picture of some of the Newlyn School of Artists, and I've included here, apart from this very lovely picture of a mermaid just combing her tresses, a loose piece of the mermaid picture, and a little paint sampler. Got this idea from Jibbid, and if you get your paintbrush and moisten it, you'll be able to release those colours and fill in your own version of the mermaid, your own little paint box. And that brings me to the end of this little book. I do hope the lady who has bought this gets as much enjoyment out of it as I had in making it. So thank you for popping by, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.